We've got a great question from Nathan. Over to him.
Alex, I'm in a real dilemma. Many of the property television programmes out there seem to portray that it's best for homeowners to conduct their viewings. After all, I know the property best and all its details and quirks. On the other hand, should I let the estate agent do it, as they're the professionals? What do you think?
Nathan, thanks very much. A great question, and one very often asked indeed. Now, on the face of it, this does actually seem a bit of a no-brainer. Of course, you know the property the best, you should do the viewings. Makes sense. However, in this instance, knowledge isn't necessarily power, and let me explain. Firstly, you need to remember that on first viewings, purchasers just want a brisk guided tour around the property, and giving them details about where you sourced your terracotta kitchen tiles or where the water stopcock is, that's almost information overload, and you could well end up putting that viewer off. The second point is that because as a homeowner you are naturally and understandably emotionally connected with the property. However, your enthusiasm could sometimes be misconstrued as overselling, or indeed at worst come across as desperation to sell, which is certainly not the right impression. Now, we've got to remember an estate agent is not connected to the property, and therefore they can have an open dialogue with the viewer. They can recommend works that could be done to add value, for example, and they're more likely to get a true reflection from the viewer about their thoughts. Now, for example, how many times have we actually heard stories about the homeowner spending over an hour with a charming couple, showing them around the house, they loved it and they're going to be putting in an offer tomorrow. However, the next day, they call the agent to absolutely slate it. This is what I call being British, as the viewer didn't want to hurt the homeowner's feelings. An estate agent doing the viewing avoids all of this happening. The final thing is that an estate agent is trained to pick up on what matters to the viewer and to reinforce that point to them. So if the viewer loves the open plan kitchen, then the agent can spend more time in that room, refer back to it during the visit, and finish the appointment there. So overall, I personally feel it's best to leave the first viewings to the agent. This is what they're trained to do. They've got a business position rather than a personal, emotional one, and it means that they can get more out of a viewing than you potentially can. However, for second or third viewings, you as the homeowner may wish to be in the background to answer some of the more detailed questions, and when the viewer is starting to show more interest. Do remember, a purchaser is of course investing in the property, but they are also investing in you. And if they meet you and get to see that you're a great affable person, then this instills confidence in the whole situation. Getting under offer is only step one. Getting to exchange, of course, requires patience and understanding. And if the purchaser sees this in you, it again helps the whole process come together. I hope that's been of some help, Nathan.